So if you think professional video editing is a game only played on macOS or Windows, you might want to stick around. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how Linux, the operating system famous for servers and coding, has quietly become an absolute powerhouse for video creators. Oh, we've all been there, right? You've got this beautiful, crisp 4K footage, you drop it onto your timeline, you're all excited, you hit that spacebar, and it's a slideshow. It's just stuttering, dropping frames. It's the ultimate creativity killer, and honestly, it's one of the most frustrating things for any editor. Now, your first thought is probably, ugh, I need a new computer. But what if the solution isn't about spending thousands on new hardware? What if it's the platform itself? It could be a totally different operating system, one that was built from the ground up for raw performance. Okay, so let's just dive right in and challenge a pretty big myth. In this first part, we're going to see why Linux isn't just some quirky alternative anymore. It's a serious, heavy-hitting contender in the world of pro video. For years, you've heard it, I've heard it, Linux is for nerds and servers, not for artists. But that's just not true anymore. The reality today is so different. What you've actually got is a super stable, incredibly efficient OS with a surprisingly deep bench of pro-grade creative software. So what's the actual draw? Why even bother? Well, first up, performance. Linux is legendary for how well it manages your computer's resources. That means you can often get way smoother playback and faster renders, even if your hardware isn't brand new. Second, and this is a big one, the cost. You get access to seriously powerful tools without getting locked into those endless monthly subscriptions. And finally, control. If you're the kind of person who likes to tweak and customize your setup, the level of control you get is just, well, it's totally unmatched. Talk is cheap though, right? So let's look at a real-world example of this in action. We're going to zoom in on Kdenlive, a really popular open-source editor, and see how it handles one of the biggest headaches in modern video editing, that choppy 4K playback. And the secret weapon here is a technique the pros have been using for years, proxy editing. It's a simple idea, really. Instead of forcing your computer to struggle with those massive 4K files in real time, the software creates these little low-resolution copies. We call them proxies. You edit with these super smooth, snappy files, and then when you're ready to export, the editor automatically swaps in the high-quality originals. It's brilliant. And this isn't some super complicated, for experts-only thing. In an editor like Kdenlive, it's actually incredibly easy. You basically just check a box in your project settings, and the software handles all the heavy lifting for you, right in the background. So, does it really work? Oh yeah. This quote here just nails it. It perfectly describes that before and after feeling. You go from this frustrating, laggy timeline where you're dropping frames all over the place, to an experience that's just responsive and smooth. It is a total night and day difference. It really transforms everything. Look, this is way more than just one cool trick. A feature like proxy editing, done this well in a totally free tool, proves that the Linux ecosystem isn't just trying to play catch-up anymore. It has the sophisticated, professional-grade solutions that today's video workflows absolutely demand. But Kdenlive is just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. The entire video editing world on Linux is so much deeper and more capable than most people ever give it credit for. I mean, just look at the range of tools you have to choose from. It's pretty impressive. Whether you're a total beginner who just needs something simple and open source like OpenShot, or maybe you're more of a prosumer and want the power of Kdenlive, or you're a seasoned professional who needs the industry standard DaVinci Resolve, there's a native Linux app waiting for you. And Resolve even has a freemium model where the free version is already insanely powerful, and you can pay to upgrade for the really high-end studio features. And let's be clear, we're not talking about stripped-down basic versions of these programs. The core features that you would expect from any professional editor, they're standard here. We're talking advanced color grading tools, complex multi-track timelines, detailed keyframing for all your effects, and yeah, even support for resolutions all the way up to 8K. And the credibility here goes right to the top. Take Lightworks, a professional editor that's been around for a long time and fully supports Linux. This is the software that was used to edit massive Hollywood movies. We're talking about iconic films like Pulp Fiction and Academy Award winners like The King's Speech. This isn't just a theory. Linux has a real, documented history in high-end filmmaking.
And then there's the big one, DaVinci Resolve, the undisputed king of color grading. It runs natively on Linux, full stop. In fact, some benchmarks have shown it can actually run faster on Linux for certain tasks compared to Windows. That means a professional can use the exact same tool they use in Hollywood post-production houses right there on a Linux machine.
Okay, so with all this power and all these choices, how do you figure out if a Linux workflow is actually right for you, and which tools should you even pick? Let's kind of break down how you can make that decision. Really, the best way to choose is to just match the tool to what you need. Think about it. What's your skill level? How complex are your projects? Are we talking quick social media clips or a detailed short film? And what kind of hardware are you working with? Just answering those simple questions will pretty much point you to the perfect editor for you within that Linux ecosystem. Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. When you combine that stability, that raw power, and the fact that it's so cost-effective, often totally free, you kind of have to wonder, could switching your editing workflow over to Linux be the one thing that finally gets rid of all that technical frustration and unlocks your next great project? Based on everything we're seeing, that's a possibility that every serious video creator should probably be considering.